For 5 years, I tried to lose weight and I did everything right. I ate clean, I worked out, I was successful and disciplined. So, how did I almost develop an eating disorder? So, I started with I want to lose several kilos to look fit. I knew that I need to control what I eat and how much I eat, so that was not a problem for me. I need to eat clean, good. I need to work out, do cardio. Okay, I hate it, but I'm gonna do it because I want to lose weight. Cut sweets. Okay, that's harder, but I still can do it because I'm disciplined. But instead of getting any results, at some point, food stopped being just food. Food stopped being just fuel. It has become tracking calories, tracking tables, tracking apps, rules, and decisions about food. I was thinking about my next meal when I was eating my current meal. I would go to bed thinking about my breakfast, and food has become like obsession for me. I would think about food and dieting all the time. I would count like calories in my head and calculate how much calories do I have for the day. And also at the same time, while I was obsessed with losing weight and counting calories, I could sit down and for some reason eat like the whole tube of this Toblerone chocolate in one sitting. Even though I shouldn't eat that, it's not allowed for me to eat that much chocolate because it's a lot of sugar and calories. The more actually I tried to control food, the more I think it controlled me. Let me explain how this happens because it is a cycle and it's not lack of willpower or lack of discipline because I had it all and it still backfired on me. Does this resonate with you? In this video, I'm gonna share what worked for me to get back from almost an eating disorder. I will share a lot of personal details. It's the first time for me when I speak about it so publicly. And if some of the points happen to you, resonate with you, that means that you already can change the situation for yourself and heal your relationship with food. Like I said before, it all started with weight loss for me. And first several kilos were very easy for me to lose. I would say low effort. But then I wanted more, and it appeared that it requires more effort. I started with simple portion control. I thought that was enough, but no. When you want to lose more weight, you have to track calories or you have to track macros, which is basically the same thing. So, and it ended up with more and more control and more rules around food. I did not allow myself to eat what I want. I allowed myself only to eat what I should eat. And I restricted myself from eating fatty foods, from eating like even some healthy foods, which were healthy, but they were high in calories, like nuts, for example, or peanut butter. I would restrict it because it's high calorie. And I had more and more rules about food in my head the more I tried to lose weight and the more I dieted. So that created like this constant tension between me and food. And instead of like losing weight and feeling better and so on, food has become my obsession. I will think about it a lot. I had like thoughts about sweets, even though I wasn't hungry. I just wanted something sweet. I wanted chocolate. I wanted my favorite milk chocolate. And I was afraid that if I stop tracking right now, the worst thing would happen. And the worst thing for me was gaining weight. And I was like, okay, I can count calories, I can control it all. I don't know what to do if I stop doing this right now. Because I already had these binge episodes, right? And I thought, okay, if I stop controlling, then I will binge constantly on the worst foods possible. And that's the worst scenario that could happen to me. And because I will get back to the point where I started, and that was the nightmare for me. Every time I ate something I wasn't supposed to eat, like chocolate. I love chocolate. I love milk chocolate. I hate dark chocolate. I try to convince myself I love dark chocolate. No, Marina, you don't. You love milk chocolate. Just accept it. Live with it. Every time I ate something I was not supposed to eat, I would punish myself and I would start this internal conversation with myself. Like, okay, Marina, you failed. You didn't follow the rules that you created for yourself. You did not comply with those rules. That means that you will not lose weight. You will be stuck there forever because you are like a bad person and you cannot comply with your own rules. You don't have enough willpower, you don't have enough self-control to just leave this chocolate and forget about it. My inner voice was a real punishment for myself. And let me know how your inner voice speaks to you regarding food. So inside my head, it was a torture. So that means that after eating, for example, I really love lean chocolates. And after each lean chocolate candy, I would feel guilty. Like I committed a crime but I just ate a lean chocolate. I would constantly calculate how much calories I have left for the day. I would punish myself by extra cardio tomorrow or extra cardio the same day. I would punish myself with no dinner. That happened so many times because calories for the day were over at like 3 or 4 p.m. I would have like a ridiculous dinner for 100 calories. And then I would go to bed and I would be hungry. And then in bed I would be thinking about breakfast. And then I will wake up already hungry and ravenous thinking about food, and I would eat more than I planned to. I would plan to have breakfast for like 300 calories. I would eat 800 calories because I'm hungry, and I would punish myself with smaller lunch. But then I would not make a smaller lunch because I come from after workout. I would be hungry again because that was a cardio for 1 hour, and of course I'm hungry, and I would have a normal lunch for also like 800 calories or something, and then I would have some snacks because even though I ate pretty good lunch, I would continue thinking about food and sweets and so on, and I would have some snacks, and that means that my calories end at 3 p.m. and I cannot dinner according to my rules, and that means that this cycle is going to repeat the next day, and this is how I live for months. And also, I remember one of the key ones for me was vacation, because on vacation, I went wild. The rule for me was when you're on vacation, you can relax and you don't have to track food. But that basically meant like 2 weeks binge for me. Like, I would eat everything inside. I would eat even the stuff I don't really like. I would eat. I would eat a dessert after every single meal because it was allowed. But when I get home, this food will again be restricted. The worst thing of it all was not the binge itself. That was when I get back from vacation and when I step on the scale. Because of course after like 2 weeks binge you gain weight because also your brain is stressed because now it thinks that you have this food, it's available, so we need to eat as much as we want, and I will gain weight. And what I do after this, of course, I will start a new diet, trying to lose again the weight that I gained and even more. And I would usually go with even stricter rules than I had before because now I felt guilty after gaining kilos during my vacation. At the worst moment of that journey, my setup was the following. So restrictions stopped working for me, so I restricted a lot of things but stopped losing weight. And I'm sure that I was in calorie deficit, but I couldn't lose weight. And that's because I also slowed down my metabolism. That means that some of the functions of my body were turned off to survive. And the next important point, that my cycle was 2-3 months instead of regular 28-30 days. It's very common thing for women when they start dieting and like extreme dieting that their period totally disappears because of stress and because also of the slower metabolism. I did not experience that, but I experienced less frequent period. That also means that my body kind of considered to stop this function for my body. Also related to this, I was always tired because I was in deficit and was not enough energy for me. And I did exhausting workouts every single day. Yeah, and my sex drive was zero, which also makes sense with the period. Of course, cherry on top, my binge episodes with compensation, with guilt. Have you ever dealt with anything like that? So, and at some point I sat down and basically I had two ways. I could restrict harder and lose weight, but of course I needed to go deeper into calorie deficit. That meant slowing my metabolism even more, maybe losing cycle completely, maybe something else, but that was one of the ways. And the second was to stop restricting and stop controlling food completely and heal my relationship with food, heal my metabolism, heal my food noise, food obsession. An important caveat here. At the same time, I studied psychotherapy, but I started it to like unpack my like childhood issues and to learn how to support myself in everyday life. It was not related to food at all. But this is where I discovered my perfectionism and then a bit obsessive type of personality. It took me some time to understand that food was one of the spheres where I try to be perfect, where I set some high expectations for myself for some reason, and where I try to be perfect and feel guilty if I'm not perfect, if I don't meet my own expectations. That helped me a lot to realize that actually I have only one way to heal my relationship with food and stop like dieting, stop losing weight. But that was really scary because control and controlling how much I eat, what I eat, was the main solution for me for the last 5 years. Yes, it backfired, but I did not know what else to do and how it would work. And I was so scary because I thought, okay, what if I gain weight? That was the worst thing for me. What if I allow myself to eat chocolate? And I knew that, like, that means that I should allow myself to eat chocolate. What if I allow myself to eat chocolate and I would never stop? What if my binge will never stop? And that was the scariest thing for me, to let go of this control. And looking back right now, I could say, Marina, no, you won't be eating chocolate after each meal. You will discover that you don't like some types of chocolate, like M&Ms, that you will not gain weight long term, but you will gain healthy relationship with food. You will get your cycle back. You will get your energy back. You will get back to yourself. You will heal your relationship with food. You will heal your overeating, food noise, and food obsession. All the things that you were worried about, they all go away. And it's possible, it's not magic. And here's how I did it. I'm gonna tell you my main game changers. We will not go through everything that I did, because we will be sitting here for like several hours. But I put everything in the guide for you, so you will be able to have it all. My game changers. I would like to start with a table that completely changed my perception of hunger and fullness. I will also put a picture somewhere. Basically, I started tracking my hunger and fullness, and turned out that I don't know how comfortable hunger feels in my body. And like dieting culture says, eat when you're hungry, and I followed it. But when I started eating, I was so hungry and so ravenous that I wouldn't be able to stop at comfortable fullness. So I would overeat, and that was one of the main scenarios why I overate. So, and that basically means that most people eat when they are extremely hungry. That means one or two in the table that you see. That's already too late. More comfortable feeling of hunger is when it's 3 to 4. But I, for example, couldn't feel how 3 or 4 feels in my body. I could feel only like empty stomach, and when I could think only about food when I was ravenous. So it took me some time to start recognizing 3 and 4, and also the same situation with fullness. I couldn't stop at comfortable fullness. I didn't know how it feels, and it took me quite some time to understand how 6 or 7, like pleasant fullness, feels in my body. Before that, I would always finish at 9 or 8. That means like constant overeating. It's not a total binge, of course, but it's a repeating overeating every single meal. So I started tracking and trying to describe it and how it feels in my body. That was really, really helpful. The second one that I wanted to share with you, that's one of my favorite things at all, because that was the scariest part for me. That's legalization, aka allowing yourself to eat any foods you want. I was scary about that because I would like, my binge will never stop. I will just eat chocolate for lunch, breakfast, the dinner, and in between. Legalization started with creating a list of all forbidden foods that you have. Oh, and I've had a very long list. Like, the more you try to lose weight, the longer the list you have. And I had everything there, from mayo to chocolate and to even watermelon. So, after learning about fullness and hunger, I started legalizing foods one by one. There are certain rules how to do it properly so you don't encourage binges. At first, you eat more than before, right? Than when you control, because your brain panics and cannot believe that this food is now available. So it tries to compensate to get as much as it wants, but over time, when your brain and nervous system learns that this food is available, this chocolate is equal to that avocado that we have in the fridge, it becomes really calm, and you won't eat chocolate if you do it right. You won't eat chocolate all the time. And I panicked a lot when I first started doing this, because I thought that I ate a lot of chocolate and I would never allow myself to eat that much chocolate when I was dieting and restricting. I ate my favorites on the road. First try, I tried not to compensate for eating chocolate. I panicked so much. I was like sitting thinking, okay, you just ate like 100 grams of chocolate. That's insane. You would go on a walking pad right now that you have at home, or you would go for a walk, or you will cut your dinner or cut your calories for tomorrow. But no compensation was a really new feeling. Have you ever tried to legalize foods to allow yourself to eat chocolate? How did it go for you? Also let me know in the comments. Yeah, would be happy to discuss that. Forbidden list of foods. Some of the foods turned out I did not like them. Like also mayo. I don't like the texture. I don't like the taste. So I tried it. I did not like it. And now I don't eat it not because it's forbidden, because I don't like it. And it's completely different perspective. Also, I talked about M&Ms. Like my husband loves M&Ms. I hate them. I don't like this crunch. And before I would eat even M&Ms. Now we have them in our cabinet and I don't like them. So, and the third, I'll skip some of the things here, is shifting your mindset and actually journaling and trying to reframe your thoughts. It's a long process when you try to track your thoughts, not to track your calories, but actually a lot of things happen in our minds and we don't even see it. I wrote a lot by hand about food and about my thoughts around food, and turned out, for example, I had a very negative perception of my body for a very long time. That was why I started weight loss. And I thought that I'm gonna fix it with weight loss, but you cannot fix it with weight loss. That's something deeper. Also for me, when I started healing my relationship with food and when I was afraid to gain weight, I was really triggered by my body image. And also I work from home and we have a lot of mirrors at home. Maybe you can see the one at the back. It's a really big one. And I would walk nearby like 20 or 30 times a day. And every time it was a trigger for me. I was afraid that I would look different after I healed relationship with food, and I would gain weight and I would cry over it a lot. And what really helped me is writing all my thoughts about my body and trying to reframe them. Trying to put something positive. I know maybe it sounds like a bit silly, but that's how it works. And I hated my body for, I don't know, 10, 15 years since I was a teenager. And now this is the first time in my life where I accept my own body and how it looks right now. It's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect, but I can accept and love it. And yeah, it took me a lot of time to try to reframe all my thoughts. All my life I wanted a flat belly. I did not have it. And I would, okay, but I have a really nice butt. like, and we work out on the butt several times a week. You can do 50 push-ups. And that's insane. That's a lot for a woman in one round without poses. And I would ride it all for several days, weeks. And then at some point, you just start to change your inner voice from this absolutely negative creature to something that is positive and that supports you and that accepts you instead of punishing you for every single thing. And that was my example of body image. I wrote also a lot about other stuff, about sweets, about being perfect, or about like I can stop eating and other stuff. I have several examples here, but it can be on other topics. But these thoughts reframe and mindset reframe really helps when you try to heal your relationship with food. So the main game changer that I wanted to talk to you about, and if you recognize yourself in this story, if you are tired of overeating, food noise, food obsession, or starting a new diet next Monday, I have a solution for you. And it's not another diet or meal plan. It's a step-by-step system that I put into this guide based on my story and of course recent nutrition science, because I'm a food coach. This guide is gonna help you start healing your relationship with food. Stop overeating, stop obsessing over food, and just reset your relationship with food. The link to the guide is in the description of this video. If you feel like you need more personalized support, I also have one-on-one consultations where we together unpack and analyze your reasons for overeating and create a sustainable and clear plan how to change your relationship with food. Use the link to my WhatsApp in the description to sign up for a consultation. Thank you for watching this video. See you.